Hi guys, I'm back again with some more stories for you today. Let's go to the first one, about OP, who doesn't allow his girlfriend to attend his parents' vow renewal ceremony because she's his brother's ex. Listen to the story to find out all the details, and of course to hear my insights. Enjoy the stories, guys, and don't forget to like and subscribe. And of course, don't forget to leave a comment. My parents had a vow renewal ceremony this weekend. There were only a few selected people invited because of virus. My girlfriend was one of them. A bit of backstory. I'm actually adopted, and my parents are actually my godparents. When I was 13, my birth mom died, and my birth father has been in prison since I was a baby. My parents took me in, and since I've always been so close to them, I was slowly able to accept them as my own. I also have a brother, my parents' bio son, who's about a year older than me and one of my best friends since childhood. My brother is a whole story. He loves to party and was super wild in college. He tamed and matured a ton when he met his now ex-girlfriend, Sabrina, who he still loves dearly. He cheated on her at a bachelor's party, not his own, and she left him. Even though it was entirely his fault, this broke him, and he still holds on to the hope that he and Sabrina will get back together. This was a little less than 2 years ago. Now, Sabrina is a gorgeous girl with a heart of gold and a vibrant personality. So basically, I fell for her too, and we've been dating for about 10 months. My brother still doesn't know this. I didn't know how to tell him because every time he sees Sabrina, she's close friends with my parents. He keeps trying to flirt with her and dream about getting her back. I feel guilty about even mentioning her because it turns into this whole convo where he says that he still has her engagement ring, never proposed. The only reason I went ahead with dating Sabrina, though, is that my brother goes through a ton of hookups. On to the am I the a-hole part. My parents invited Sabrina because she's a close friend of theirs too, and even if they don't know we're dating. But because of my brother, I lied to my parents that she can't come because of travel restrictions. I told Sabrina the truth and said that I don't want to cause a scene at the renewal when it means so much to my parents. I know my brother is going to blow up if he sees me and Sabrina together, and even if he doesn't find out, he'll flirt with her and start pining over her again. But Sabrina is pissed that we have to hide our relationship and is not talking to me right now. Edit. The reason I feel scared to tell everyone is that I know that everyone will take my brother's side. My parents sympathized with my brother when Sabrina broke up with him. They were annoyed that he cheated, but he didn't get a lecture or anything. My mom cried with him. I know that my parents will take his side over this. Well, in my opinion, OP is definitely in the wrong here. OP is being crappy and sneaky to his girlfriend and his brother right now. I don't understand what OP is thinking, to just never tell his family they are together. OP needs to stop being a coward and call his brother today and tell him so Sabrina can come. Given that her invitation was separate from OP's, it was incredibly rude of OP to decline on her behalf. And now let's hear if the community agrees with me. Rhodey says, "You're the a-hole for everything. Dude, you do not date your sibling's ex. Never. Even less so when he is still pining for her. And when you have the cojones to pull crap like that, you better have the cojones to be honest about it." Unicorn Cake Queen says, "You're the a-hole. Generally, dating the same girl as a family member or a friend dated is bound to cause trouble. Doesn't make you an a-hole though. The issue is you keeping it secret and excluding her. You chose to date someone, knowing your brother had feelings for her. Then you have to deal with the consequences. Not so much for your brother's sake, but for your girlfriend. She doesn't deserve to be excluded." Texas World says, "Bro, 10 months ago, there was a choice to be made. A relationship with Sabrina or a relationship with your brother. Regardless of your brother's crappy actions, it's also crappy to get with his ex, who he is not over. You chose Sabrina. You don't get to straddle this line. It's not fair to anyone involved. While I agree you shouldn't be causing a scene at the renewal, you're the a-hole for not disclosing this ASAP and creating this situation to begin with." I'm turning to the internet and this community for advice. I'm at a loss on what to do. My sister and I, both 32, have been no contact for about a year. Part of the reason for this, on my part at least, is her incredibly questionable morality. I'm not a judgmental or puritanical person at all, but I do have a moral compass and have been increasingly bothered by her actions that are clearly harmful to others. She works a highly paid job for a large company in our capital city, and she's sleeping with her boss. Okay, she is lonely, and I know she very much wants a loving relationship. Except that, aside from being her superior at work, This guy is married. He claims that his wife has mental health issues, and because of this, isn't being a good wife to him. The other major relationship issue is that he desperately wanted children, but she was on the fence, and they couldn't conceive without help. So, on his insistence, she is undergoing IVF, while he is sleeping with my sister, his employee. To be clear, I don't know them. I've never met either the man or his wife, but I feel so awful knowing about this and not doing anything, even though arguably I owe them nothing, or maybe even owe loyalty to my sister. Her job would be at risk if this came out. But I've been through pregnancy, and I've experienced poor mental health. I guess I just empathize so badly with this woman, even though I don't know her. So Googled the company my sister works for and tried to figure out who the guy was. But he has a very common first name. I didn't know his last name, so I couldn't figure out who he was. My mom visited recently. She is still in contact with my sister and knows the whole situation. When I told her I had looked up the guy, she immediately told me his last name and his wife's first name. She told me that what I would do with the information is up to me, but the implication was that she also thought that the wife should know. So now I'm pretty sure I found both the guy and his wife online. What do I do? I really want to let her know what I know, but would she want to know? She might be pregnant already. Would it be better to just let it go? Plus, I'm pretty sure that if I did anything, my sister would work it out and it would be the final nail in the coffin of our relationship. I'm not sure if I care about that. If you were in the wife's shoes, what would you want? If I was the wife, I would like to know, so I'd tell her. If she has a kid with her cheating husband, things are going to get messier, because she needs to know that if she's going to get pregnant, she will be connected with a cheater for life. I'd tell the wife, but I'd make sure I tell it anonymously, as sister is going to blame OP once this hits the roof, and the cheater is going to be forced to choose between his wife and her. And now let's hear the community's opinion. Pineapple is Best says, I personally would want to know before I got pregnant. If they weren't trying for a baby, I would say stay out of it. But this is a special circumstance. Maybe you can have someone else tell her anonymously, so it doesn't land on you. Zolaro Saya says, please tell her before she gets pregnant and her life is ruined by permanent connection to this man, and possibly your sister ruining her parenting experience if they run off together. I'm normally a mind-your-own-business type, but in this case, I'd want this woman to know everything, including all the things he tells your sister, so that she can freely decide her future for herself and escape him if she wishes. He sounds like a very controlling man. Your sister isn't a good person to behave like this towards another woman, and knowing that she's going through IVF for him. If it blows up, you can tell her that. It sounds astounding that your sister gets so little pushback that she even admits this behavior, let alone brags about it. If a sister of mine told our family this, we'd be raising hell with her. The lack of discretion, boundaries, and respect for others is probably why she's so lonely. I, 31 female, have been with my husband, 33 male, for 12 years. We faced fertility issues and have embryos frozen from our last IVF attempt. We're planning on using them next year. My younger sister, 28 female, was diagnosed with a rare form of cancer 2 years ago. Her chances of survival are slim, and treatments have rendered her infertile. She's been with her partner, 30 male, for 5 years, and they had dreams of starting a family. Last week, she and her partner sat me down. Tearfully, she asked if they could use one of our embryos. Her rationale was that it would be a way for a part of her to live on, even if she didn't. She said she's come to terms with her mortality, but wants her partner to have a family and a piece of her. She believes this could give her a sense of purpose in her remaining days. I was taken aback. I empathize with her desperation, but those embryos represent my potential children. Giving one away would feel like giving away a child. Before I could respond, she dropped another bombshell. She confessed that many years ago, she had a drunken one-night stand with my now husband. They were young and stupid. It was before he and I became official, and she swore they both regretted it immediately and never spoke of it again. She said she was telling me now because she didn't want to have any secrets between us if I agreed to her request. I was shattered. The pain of the betrayal, coupled with her request, was overwhelming. I lashed out and told her she couldn't have our embryos and that she was dead to me. My family is divided. Some say I reacted in the heat of the moment and should reconsider, given her terminal condition. Others believe she was manipulative in revealing the secret alongside her request, and I have every right to deny her. So, am I wrong? I personally think OP's sister is delusional. First of all, Does she really think that after she told OP that she slept with her husband, OP will give her something? And second of all, it will never be a piece of her. Yes, she might give birth to the baby, but it's not going to be biologically hers and her husband's. Also, I wonder how she's planning on carrying a baby being in poor health. She sounds desperate. And now let's hear the community's opinion. Gia Kalk says, how does her using your embryo help leave a piece of her behind? Zed Gardner says, it sounds like she did that on purpose. Like you might give her what she wants because you won't want anything to do with the embryos anymore. Or if she can't be happy by you donating your embryos, you can't be happy with your relationship with your husband. Responsible Mall says, not the a-hole. Your sister is stupid. That child would never be her or her husband's. It would have your and your husband's DNA. Those are your eggs, not hers. And I would put money on the fact that if they did this, and if the child survived, because a cancer-stricken body will not have the minerals or stamina to make a healthy baby, that once your sister passes, her husband will dump the child onto you or your parents, because it will not be in any way genetically related to him. Edit. I realized you said her partner, not husband. That means he has zero legal obligations to your sister or this child should you let her have an embryo, as it's not his DNA at all. My entire life, I've been compared to my older sister. Got an A on an assignment, sister got an A+ and a national award. Scored a goal in soccer, she got recruited to play on the varsity team as a freshman. Have a crush on a guy in high school. He worships her and follows her on Instagram and likes every photo. Only one teacher my entire life actually treated me like an individual. To everyone else, I was just X's sister and treated like dirt for not being her. Our parents can't get through a sentence without mentioning her and her accomplishments. It's like I'm invisible, even though I've done some cool things too. I have a moderate internet following and have spent a lot of time improving my guitar and songwriting skills. She left our small town and went to an Ivy League school, and that just made her legend around town even bigger and more annoying to deal with. While there, she met a guy from a super wealthy family and started spending all her holidays traveling with him instead of coming home. So I basically haven't seen her since she was 19 and I was 16. This has been genuinely good for me. It would have been better if everyone would stop talking about her all the time. But I've been able to control my reactions, and most people don't know that I have any problems with her. Now she's planning the wedding of the century. Literally a $60,000 blowout bash, and I'm a bridesmaid. Wear whatever you want, but it has to be a stupid shade of powder blue, and no patterns, and wear your hair in a ponytail. But I don't want to go. I don't even want to be in the same room as her, much less attend her 4-day celebration, Attention Fest. She keeps asking me if I'll be able to make the bachelorette party, and her parents are putting pressure on me to book my flights for the wedding and bachelorette. They're devoting all their time this year to planning her wedding with her future in-laws, and I'm left behind to take care of our pets. They don't even check in with me while leaving me home alone with high-need animals, and I've had to drop plans several times to pet sit and take them to the vet. I just want to RSVP no and skip the wedding. My boyfriend is supportive, but thinks it would be a bit of an a-hole move because I have plenty of experience bottling up my feelings and getting through things like this, and she will only get married once. Edit. I'm moving out of my parents' house as soon as I have enough credits to transfer to the state flagship, which should be next spring. Getting out of our town will help. For all those saying jealous, yes, that's fundamentally what bugs me about the situation. I'm jealous of the attention and support my sister gets from my parents and everyone else in this town that's incapable of treating me like an individual. I like the idea about faking an illness closer to the date of the wedding, but I'll just wait until we get closer and decide then if I can make it work. Good to know about the bridesmaid dress thing being normal. I wasn't trying to be a brat about that. I'm just not used to weddings that involve this level of production. Usually brides pick a dress for the bridesmaids and save them the trouble. Morgain125 says, "You're the a-hole. It doesn't sound like your sister actually did anything to you, just that you are jealous of her life and the attention other people have chosen to give her. I can understand why it's been hard for you, but you're taking out your anger on the wrong person." Hi Clementine says, "Sounds like she hasn't actually done anything malicious to you, and you sound incredibly jealous and bitter. You should seek therapy to work through whatever perceptions you have about how you're treated, and how having her accomplishments celebrated makes you feel less, because that's on you. You shouldn't have to dim her life to ensure you feel comfortable. Also, yeah, don't go. You'll probably try to make it about yourself, and how her wedding and those attending are rightfully giving her all the attention on her big day. Creator God Tennessee says, "You're the a-hole. You sound like a typical whiny younger sibling who just needs to get over themselves. I'm betting 90% of the way you describe things is not anywhere near what actually happened. Don't go to the wedding. That's your choice. But don't blame your sister. She's done nothing wrong but be successful at what she does." I'm 65 and terminally ill. My husband passed many years ago. I have 2 children, one son named Michael and another named William. Michael is very distant and has always been a wanderer. He has not walked a straight path and lives a life with little to no obligations, responsibilities. His daughter, Lily, 19, is very close with me and is currently working 2 jobs and going to nursing school. We recently found out that she's expecting her first child. She has nothing to lean on as her father is mostly uninvolved. Her mother is also estranged and not in her life. William is the exact opposite of his brother. He's lived a very admirable, typical life thus far. His stepdaughter, only child, is almost 27 now. She has a very large financial cushion as well as a large family on her mother's side to fall back on. We are not close, and she was never interested in maintaining a relationship with me. She came into our lives as a late teenager and was civil, but not affectionate. I have no ill will for her. She's a very smart and hardworking woman, but we just don't have that same bond or tie. When drawing up my will and last wishes, I made sure to leave something to everyone, be it family heirlooms or silly keepsakes. Everyone will have something to remember me by. Michael's stepdaughter will receive vintage books that I know she appreciates, as we've communicated about it before. She's very into collectibles and reading. She does not want or need money. Lily will receive most of my savings and money. I do not trust Michael with large sums, and William is not in need of it. Lily is very much in debt and struggling, and I know that she will benefit from the boost to eventually buy a house and pay for her child's needs. This decision was not made lightly, and I fully trust her to use the money wisely. William and his wife do not approve of the decision. Not their place, but it is taking a toll on me emotionally. They believe that their daughter deserves more, if not half, of what I've decided to give to Lily. Their daughter herself does not care, and is grateful for what she's been allocated for the day I inevitably go. It's causing a rift in the family, and it's taking a severe toll on my emotional and physical health. I do not know exactly how much time I have left, just that it's not much, and this is how I envisioned my final months going. I've heard that they're making plans to try and contest the will when I do pass. I know that there is no room for such things and that it is bulletproof, but it's extremely hurtful. Am I the a-hole? Could I have divided this any better? Extinct Diplodocus says, "Not the a-hole for your distribution. Your money, your choice. But why in the world did you disclose it? Go to your lawyer and have him add a clause that anybody who contests the will gets nothing. Then tell the people who are complaining that you've taken their views into consideration and have made changes, but won't reveal the details ahead of time because you don't want any more backseat driving." Boo155 says, "Not the a-hole. Is it Michael or William who is causing problems? The stepdaughter is not related to you and therefore has no claim on your estate if your will were to be overturned. I would consider adding a no contest clause, saying that anyone who contests the will lose whatever share of the estate they might have had. You sound like a very thoughtful, considerate woman, and I'm sorry some of your family are causing you so much stress." Aries in North Carolina 3017 says, "Not the a-hole, and shame on your son and daughter-in-law for being so rude during this time. This is your money to do with as you choose. There's no need for discussion. I'm not getting into a stepdaughter being advocated for when she isn't close to you or even cares. This is ridiculous. I wish you peace and contentment."